Good morning. Our topic this morning is all about ADDIE model. So, I have a question. Do you think ADDIE model is an acronym? That's right. So, ADDIE stands for A for analysis, D for design, another D is for development, I is for implementation, and the last E is for evaluation. So, but before we discuss about this model, let's know first who invented this model. So, who invented this model? So, ADDIE model was originally invented by Florida State University in 1975. So, its purpose was to form an instructional system development program for military training. Eventually, the model transformed and became commonly used for all types of training. So we know now who invented the ADDIE model. So what is ADDIE model? So ADDIE model is commonly used instructional design framework used by instructional designers and training developers to develop employee training programs. The ADDIE model represents an interactive, dynamic, and flexible guideline for instructional designers to build effective e-learner courses. The model gives you a streamlined, focused approach that provides feedback for continuous improvement. So, ADDIE model is an instructional design model that provides a structured and adaptable approach to creating effective learning instructional content, courses, and experiences. So, the ADDIE model serves as a guiding framework for instructional designers, educators, and trainers alike for creating training materials. So in ADDIE model, there are five phases. So first is the analysis phase. So the analysis phase is the foundation for all other phases of instructional design. In this phase, you analyze all the factors needed to develop a course. So the analysis phase is the foundation for all other phases of instructional design. During this phase, you must define the problem, identify the source of the problem, and determine possible solution. The phase may include specific research techniques such as need analysis, job analysis, task analysis. The outputs of this phase often include the instructional goals and a list of tasks to be instructed. So this output will be the input for the design phase. So in this phase, which is the analysis phase, you think or ask a questions like who your learnings, then what are the overall goals you are trying to achieve, what are the overall knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors that needed to be taught. Another is what is the amount and level of necessary content, and what are the resources are required and available. The second one is the design phase. So the design phase involves using output from the analysis phase to plan a strategy for developing the instructional course. So during this phase, outline how to reach the learning goals determined during the analysis phase and expand the instructional foundation by following instructional design best practices. So the design phase help us decide specific learning objectives, structures of the content, mental processes needed by the participant, knowledge or skills participants needs to retain, best tools to use because it is important, like videos or graphics to create, the length of time for each lesson. So some of the elements of the design phase may include writing a target population, descriptions, conducting a learning analysis, writing objectives and test items, selecting a delivery system and sequencing the instruction. The outputs of the design phase will be the inputs for the development phase. So these five phases will never be or will not be interchanged. So you've got your analysis, you've got your design. Now it's time to start building. Next is the development phase. So the development phase is where you actually begin creating or developing your e-learning course. So the development phase builds on both the analysis and design phases. So in this phase, you bring your storyboards to life and start creating the courses. Each element of the course is developed to match the design phase. The bulk of the development phase centers around the training course, productions, and the selected e-learning authoring tools. So development phase, the purpose of this is to generate the lesson plan and lesson materials. During this phase, you will develop the instructions, all media that will be used in the instructions, and any supporting documentation. This may include hardware, simulation equipment, and software like computer-based instruction. So next is the implementation phase. So the implementation phase refers to presenting and delivering the course materials to your learners. So this phase must promote the learner's understanding of materials, support the learner's mastery of objectives, and ensure the transfer of knowledge from the instructional setting to the job. So, the implementation phase refers to the actual delivery of instruction, whether it's classroom-based, lab-based, or computer-based. So, the purpose of implementation phase is the effective and the efficient delivery of instruction. So next is the evaluation phase. So the evaluation phase measures the effectiveness and efficiency of the training course. Evaluation takes place throughout the entire instructional design process within phase, between phases, and after implementation. So in evaluation, it's either formative or summative evaluation. So formative evaluation is an ongoing during and between phases. The purpose of this type is to improve the instruction before the final version is implemented, while the summative evaluation usually occurs after the final version of instruction is implemented. This type of evaluation assesses the overall effectiveness of the instruction. Data from the summative evaluation is often used to make a decision about the instruction, such as whether to purchase an instructional package or continue or discontinue the instruction. Furthermore, in getting feedback on every aspect of the courses is really important so that you can improve and revise the content. By that, we can ask ourselves, did we meet the goals as set out in the analysis phase? So now we know the five phases of ADDIE model. So let's jump on to the illustration about the five phases of ADDIE model. First is the analysis. Second is design. Third is development. Fourth is implementation. And the last is evaluation, whereas evaluation, it's either formative evaluation or summative evaluation. Then next is the importance of ADDIE model. So aside from ADDIE is one of the most commonly used learning models, it is important because it provides a proven method for designing clear and effective training programs. The next is the benefits of ADDIE model. So first is it ensures a systematic and structured approach to instructional design. So the ADDIE model provides a well-defined and systematic framework for designing and developing learning experiences. By breaking down the process into distinct phases, it guides instructional designers, educators, and trainers through a structured sequence of steps. So this systematic approach ensures that all critical aspects of instructional design are addressed, preventing crucial elements from being overlooked or rushed. This structured nature enhances the overall quality and effectiveness of the learning program. Next, benefits is facilitates customization to fit different learning needs. So one of the strengths of ADDIE model lies in its adaptability. It allows for customization to suit various learning needs, audience, characteristic, and content types. So during the analysis phase, careful assessment of the learner's needs, preferences, and existing knowledge takes place. So this information informs the subsequent phases, enabling designers to tailor the learning experience to match the specific requirements of the learners, whether the audience consists of beginners, expert, visual learners, or auditory learners. The ADDIE model accommodates these differences, resulting in more engaging and relevant training materials. Then, another is it provides a framework for collaboration. So collaboration is a cornerstone of the ADDIE model, as different professionals contribute their expertise throughout the phases. A collaborative environment emerges. Subject matter experts, instructional designers, trainers, and learners work together to define goals, create content, and design assessment. So this collaborative approach fosters cross-functional communication, shared insights, and a holistic understanding of the learning objectives. So, by involving diverse perspectives, the ADDIE model enhances the overall quality of the learning program and aligns it with the broader organizational goals. So, in order to further understand the 5 phases of the ADDIE model, I have here an example. So, this example of ADDIE model is in software application training. So, in software application training and analysis phase, in the analysis phase, a company recognizes the need to train its employees on a new software application. They identify the specific rules and departments that will use the software. They also determine the level of familiarity employees have with similar application and any potential challenges they might face during the transition. In design phase, during the design phase, the training teams defines the learning objectives for each user group. They outline the training approach, such as online tutorials for self-paced learning and instructor-lead session for more complex features. They also decide on the training materials, including users' manuals and interactive simulations. While in development phase, in this phase, the training team creates the training materials. They develop online tutorials that guide users through basic and advanced functions of the software. They also design interactive simulations that allows users to practice using the software in a risk-free environment. In implementation phase, the training materials are distributed to the employees. Online tutorials are accessible through the company's learning portals, and instructional lead sessions are scheduled for hands-on training. Employees are encouraged to complete the training at their own pace or attend the scheduled session. Last is the evaluation phase. In the evaluation phase, the effectiveness of the training is assessed. The training team measures how proficiently employees use the software after completing the training. They also gather feedback through surveys to understand users' experiences and identify areas for improvement in future software rollouts. So that is the example of the five software application training, whereas they apply the five phases of ADDIE model. And that's all. Thank you.